क्या? Yeah, अच्छा. الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله ونشهد ان محمدا رسول الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Jazakallah for introducing me. You guys may know me. My name is Zoraiz Hashmi. I am involved with the youth. I'm also a member of ICNA Center for Social Justice, where we speak about social justice issues such as, like he's mentioned before, Islamophobia, women's rights, racial inequality and whatnot. But today I wanted to talk about a certain issue that has been going around the Muslim community lately, that I've been seeing a lot on social media, that I've been posting a lot on social media myself. Sorry, what? Alright. This better? This is better? Is it better now? Okay. So I want to talk about a certain topic that has been going around the Muslim community lately, that's been circulating and has been going around. And this topic is about Palestine. What has been going on in Palestine, what has Israel been doing in Palestine, and how we Muslims should react. So just to reiterate, first thing I'm going to do is talk about what has been going on in Palestine, what Israel has been doing in Palestine, and secondly, I'm going to talk about how we as Muslims in America should react and how we should respond to this. So to start off with my first thing, what exactly is happening in Palestine and going on? So one of the biggest things that has happened recently is, if you've been on social media, you have probably seen the hashtag Save Sheikh Jarrah movement going on. It was a hashtag spread going all over Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And some of you might wonder, well, what is this thing? What is it about? What is it talking about? Now, Sheikh Jarrah was a neighborhood in Jerusalem, northeast of Jerusalem, and what has been happening there was that the Israeli government, the legislature, something ruled that 550 Palestinians were to be forcefully relocated from their homes and moved elsewhere. Now, this may not seem like a big deal as I say right now, but what happens is that this is a continuous thing that Israel has been doing. They've been doing it in the past. Currently, Sheikh Jarrah is just the current place where it's happening. But what happens is that Israeli settlers enter these neighborhoods alongside soldiers and police and other authoritative figures, and what they do is they forcefully remove Palestinians from their homes. Witness accounts say that sometimes they're dragged out of their homes physically, their belongings are taken and thrown on the street, and they're just left on the streets to be homeless. I want you all to just imagine you sitting in your home. All of a sudden, someone knocks on your door and says, "Get out, this is my house now." And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? What are you doing? They grab all your stuff, they drag you and your children, or you and your parents, and they throw you outside, left to be homeless, no compensation, no money, no nothing. This has been a continuous problem, and currently it was happening in Sheikh Jarrah, in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. And this is just one of the many things Israel has been doing. There's a lot of other stuff that they've been doing, but I can't fit this all in this ban. Otherwise, I'd probably need a whole khutbah to talk about what's happening. So I'd like to talk about what's been happening in Al-Aqsa in Gaza. So starting off with Al-Aqsa, if you guys have seen the videos, for whatever reason, Israel decided to attack Al-Aqsa Mosque. They tear gassed, bombed, destroyed some property, and attacked peaceful worshippers while they were praying Tarawih, I believe, at nighttime. If you see the video, someone filmed it saying, "Let the world know what's happening at Al-Aqsa." It was a very, very disheartening video to watch. And it was honestly such a crazy thing, because every Muslim should know is that there are three main masjids in our religion: Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, Masjid al-Nabawi, I believe I said correctly, in Medina, and Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. And to attack such a holy site like that is very, very, it's just very wrong to do. Remember 2 years ago in Paris, when the Notre Dame cathedral caught on fire. The world went crazy about it. But unfortunately, there was not the same reaction to Al-Aqsa Mosque as well. And it's just a sad reality of how the world reacts to things. I want to also talk about what's happening in Gaza recently. So there's been a constant, Israel has been airstriking and bombing people in Gaza and the West Bank. I apologize if I use any sort of triggering language right here. I'll try to keep it down to the minimum. But some of the things that they've done, for example, were bombing, airstriking random places such as hospitals, schools, apartments, etc. They've been doing this, they constantly do this, and many innocent Palestinian people were being killed. I don't remember the death toll, but numerous amounts of children were killed. The last time I checked, 69 people were dead. I think this number has increased, and it's been just going on and on. I've seen videos of even at 3:30 a.m. at their local time, Israel was bombing them. It's just such a sad thing to see. They're sometimes setting up checkpoints for Palestinians, in which innocent Palestinians are abused, sometimes even killed by Israeli forces at these checkpoints. Not only that, but mobs of Israelis, because they haven't, the way how Zionism and the way how it all is, mobs of Israeli groups are physically attacking Palestinians, beating them, or sometimes killing them. One example is, it was actually caught on Israeli Live TV a few days ago, where a man was beaten by an Israeli mob. Another video caught a Palestinian getting beaten in their own house by an Israeli mob, in their own house, mind you. He was broken into and beaten inside their house. So it just shows what the situation is in Palestine going on right now, so on and so forth. I've seen videos of children crying, seeing their parents being killed straight in front of them. It's not only hard to talk about, it's even harder to watch. But this is a reality that's been going on in Israel, and the world is turning a blind eye to it, and it's a very unfortunate thing. However, the biggest thing I want to talk about right now, something that really touched my heart personally, something that really aggravated me, was about a boy whose name was, let me check right here. Real quick, alright. So on 9 days ago, on the night of May 9th, 2021, a 16-year-old boy named Saeed was shot and killed by Israeli forces. What was he doing? He was walking home with his friend. The Israeli forces shot him. He was shot, he was on the floor. His friend tried to tend to his wounds. They shot his friend too. When the Palestinian ambulance tried to come and take care of him, they blocked the ambulance. So eventually Saeed's wounds got to him and he was pronounced dead on the scene. It's such a sad thing because this boy was only 16 years old. He's younger than me. And his life was taken away like this. He did nothing wrong. And the sad thing is that this is a continuous thing that is happening in Palestine. Now, I don't really like to compare certain events and certain events to other events to try to compare and bring one down and bring one up. This is not my intention. But I really want to use this event as a reference point. I'm an avid supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement, if you know me. And one of the biggest events that happened that caused the Black Lives Matter movement to protest was the shooting of a 12-year-old boy named Tamir Rice. Now, what was Tamir Rice doing? He was playing with a toy gun. A police officer claimed that he was threatened by it and shot the boy dead. He was only 12 years old. I was really young when this happened, but now that I'm older and I understood the situation, it doesn't make it any better. It's still a very sad situation that happened, and yeah, it definitely aggravated me. But when I read this piece of information that I'm going to read to you right now, I had to confirm this through multiple sources because I just could not believe it. I could not believe that this was happening at all. And that is that according to multiple sources, like I've mentioned before, multiple sources, I've confirmed this, is that since the year 2000, one Palestinian child is killed every 3 days by Israeli forces. That is a very big deal. That is 10 children killed every month on average. That's like having 10 Tamir Rice situations in a month. Now, of course, I don't have no intention to compare or bring one situation down or the other when I'm saying this. My pure point is as a reference. Just imagine the anger that I would have if 10 Tamir Rice-like situations were to happen in a month, this is happening in Palestine since 2000, for 21 years. It's unfortunately such a horrible thing that's going on, and this is just one of the many sort of war crimes and human rights violations that Israel is committing against the Palestinian people. So now, I mentioned about what Israel is doing, but now I want to talk about how we should react and how we should respond. So, to start off, unfortunately in America, there's a lot of pro-Israeli bias. There's a lot of, a pro-Israeli sentiment. A lot of our politicians support Israel. Even politicians that we tend to trust have spoken in favor of Israel. Many news medias and many platforms are trying to either sugarcoat what Israel is doing or flat out taking their sides, claiming that this is a two-sided conflict and this is a, both sides are at fault or something like that. And as we all know, it's nothing close to that. But one point in particular that I really want to get across is that a lot of people claim that speaking out against Israel is anti-Semitic. One of our politicians, Democrat representative from Minnesota, I believe, she spoke out against Israel and she was heavily criticized for being anti-Semitic. Now in Islam, we know that anti-Semitism is not allowed. We are not allowed to be hateful to any religious group. This is how our religion is. But is criticizing Israel anti-Semitic? And obviously the answer is no. But it is such a dumb point, in my opinion, to claim that criticizing Israel is anti-Semitic, and I can tear it apart just like by one thing. If ISIS was to do something right now to a church, to let's say blow up a church or shoot up a church or something like that, commit a crime, kill people in the name of Islam or whatever, or just kill innocent people, would people criticize ISIS? Obviously they would. But what if someone was to go and say that criticizing ISIS was Islamophobic? You'd call that crazy. You'd say you're out of your mind. It's nothing Islamophobic. And it's the same exact thing for Israel. So Israel does not represent Judaism, and I feel like that's a point that should get across, because many Jewish people, especially in the United States, have been openly against Israel. I've seen so many protests. I've seen literal organizations of Jewish people speaking out against what Jewish people speaking out against what Israel is doing to the Palestinians. So if Jewish people are on our side, it shows that we should also be rallying in support of our fellow Muslims and people whose rights are being revoked. So now, I want to end it off with, what can we do to help? What can we do to help the people of Palestine? Now, in a hadith by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, on the authority of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, he said that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever of you see an evil, let him change it with his hand. And if he's not able to do so, then change it with his tongue. And if he's not able to do so, then change it with his heart. This is according to Muslim Hadith 34, 40, and Hadith an-Nawawi, Sahih. So, what exactly does this tie into? What can we do? Well, first and foremost, obviously not all of us can do much here in America when the Palestine is so far away. But what can we do? One of the first and foremost things that we can do is donate. We can donate to help Palestinian causes. We can donate to help people and donate to help allocate resources, because if you've seen the videos, a lot of Palestinians have been blocked off from food and water. It's a very, very sad situation there, as I mentioned. And so donating will definitely help those in need. If you cannot donate, one other thing you can do is protest. There's a lot of protests going on for Palestine. And if you have the free time, if you can, go attend one of those protests, make your voice be heard, let the message spread, and show people what is going on in Palestine, to the Palestinians. And if you can't protest, then what else can you do? Well, we live in an age where media can be easily spread all across. I mean, through phones, through computers, etc. Social media is a very powerful tool. If you see any photos, of course, that are credible, but if you see any photos, videos, articles, petitions, Instagram posts, etc., anything that has, that shows what the Palestinians are going through and exposing what Israel is doing, please post them, please spread them. Spread the word as much as you can. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, because there's a lot of criticism towards spreading messages through social media, is, well, what is it going to do? How are we going to help the Palestinians? How is this going to help the Palestinians at all? Well, a friend of mine brought up a point, and that is that Palestinians, like I mentioned before, the media does not cover what the Palestinians are going through. So social media is their platform, and we are their voice. So we have to explain, we have to show the world what they're going through. We have to show the world what Israel is doing to them. And we have to be open and spread about it. Let the world know that these clashes that the media claim are not really clashes, but rather is colonialism that's going on. And this conflict is not really a conflict, but an apartheid state. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of those in Palestine right now suffering, and please do as much as you can, because this is not just about religious wars, it's not about anything, this is about human rights at the end of the day.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي خلق الخلق وابتلى عباده وجعل الزكاة تزكية الأموال لمن يتزكى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد الورى، صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين فازوا بالعلم والتقى. أما بعد، فيا معشر الإخوان، اعلموا أن الزكاة إحدى مباني الإسلام، فقد قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: بني الإسلام على 5: شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله، وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة والحج وصوم رمضان. وشدد الوعيد على المقصرين فيها كما دلت عليه أحاديث السيد الأبرار وآيات الله الملك القهار. فيا عباد الله، سارعوا إلى أداء فرائض الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم، ونفعنا وإياكم منه بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. إنه تعالى جواد كريم، قديم ملك بر رؤوف رحيم ورب حليم. الله.
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إرغاما لمن جحد به وكفر، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد الخلائق والبشر. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه مصابيح الغرر. عباد الله، اتقوا الله تعالى من سماع اللغو وفضول الخبر، وانتهوا عما نهاكم عنه وزجر، واعلموا أن الله أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه وثنى بملائكة المسبحة لقدسه، وثلث بكم أيها المؤمنون من برية جنه وإنسه، فقال تعالى مخبرا وآمرا: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. خصوصا منهم ذي الأسر العليم أمير المؤمنين سيدنا أبي بكر الصديق رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى كامل الحياء والإيمان أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عثمان بن عفان رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أسد الله الغالب أمير المؤمنين سيدنا علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى تمام العشرة المبشرة، وعلى سائر الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، واخذل الكفرة والمبتدعة والمشركين، وكن اللهم حافظهم وموئدهم وناصرهم يا رب العالمين ويا خير الناصرين. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم انصر إخواننا المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان، واجعل اللهم آمنة مطمئنة سائر بلاد المسلمين، واكتب اللهم الستر والسلامة والعافية علينا وعلى عبيدك الحجاج والغزاة والمسافرين في برك وبحرك من أمة محمد أجمعين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة، واغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العلي العظيم يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
Few minutes early. 35 is the schedule time. People are coming out.
Longer.
You can do it. Come on.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قام الصلاة قام الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم احفظنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
First of all, Jazakallah khair for Brother Zoraiz for delivering such a beautiful khutbah, and bringing this issue for the Muslim community. So what the action should be taken in future. First of all, the prayer time is 1:35 as a schedule, but inshallah you should expect, we're going to change on the flyer. The prayer time will be between 1:30 to 1:35. If we come early, then we're going to start early prayer. So we should not be very specific, it's 35 the people. And people who are coming late, they should be known. The prayer will be between 1:30 to 1:35. So avoid this confusion, okay? Jazakallah khair.